We hear a lot about marriage equality, but what about equality for kids?
Children have an equal right, wherever possible, to both a mum and a dad. So-called marriage equality forces a child to miss out on a mother or a father. That's not equality for the kids who miss out. That's not marriage.
Give every child their chance of a mum and a dad.
Our first television ad went straight to the heart of our concerns about same-sex marriage. And that is that as an institution, it would deliberately create motherless or fatherless children, not by some tragic circumstance, but by an act of Parliament. That is an injustice against the child that we should never contemplate. Now, we understand claims of equality for adults, but if that means inequality for kids, where is the justice in that? And if equal love for two men means you have to destroy the love between a mother and her baby, what's loving about that? And yes, we know we're meant to be tolerant, but the gay lobby acts with raging intolerance against anybody who stands in their way. We experienced that with our first ad, when we placed it in the path of the Mardi Gras parade, saying, stop, it's not just about you adults, think of the child. Channels 7 and 9 ran the ad, but SBS refused to show it during their 2-hour telecast of the parade. And so it became a big issue of free speech, of the right of our side of this great debate to be heard, not to be censored or demonised. This ad became the most viewed Australian video on YouTube that week, with 500,000 views in 5 days. And many people who disagreed with our position on marriage defended our right to be heard. Senator Lionhelm, who was moving a gay marriage bill in the Senate. Tim Wilson, the openly gay Human Rights Commissioner. Even the head of Get Up said the ad should never have been pulled by SBS. And Queensland Senator Matt Canavan got the openly gay Managing Director of SBS, Michael Abid, to admit that yes, he would have run an ad from the gay lobby during Mardi Gras, but not ours.
Would you run a pro-gay marriage ad during Mardi Gras?
Helen? I think we would.
I think we would.
Yes.
So you'd allow one side of the debate to be aired, but not the other?
So we have tried to achieve two vital things in the last few months. First, to assert our right to be heard on this great matter, not to be censored. And second, to reframe the debate, more in terms of the rights of the child than the demands of homosexual adults. And our research shows that most Australians agree with us on this. Our Galaxy poll of 1,200 Australians found that by a margin of 3 to 1, Australians think a child should, where possible, be raised by their own mother and father. And that the right of a child to have both a mum and a dad is more important than the right of two men to marry and start a family. Right now, we are faced with an enormous challenge. We have to mobilise millions of Australians to say yes to true marriage and to the rights of the child in the upcoming plebiscite or referendum, whenever that might be. So before you leave tonight, please pick up a copy of our recent full-page ad in The Australian called It's Not Marriage. This is our best effort to show what is at stake. We point out that all couples in Australia already have full relationship equality, but not all relationships are marriage. We ask the hard questions of the gay marriage lobby, such as, is it equality if you force some kids to miss out on their dad? And we give examples like Melbourne woman Millie Fontana, who was raised by a loving lesbian couple.
There's all this talk about equality for women, for gay people, for everybody. But where's the equality for children?
We also ask, is it right to force homosexual education on all of our children, where parents have no right to object?
After Massachusetts legalized gay marriage, our son came home and told us the school taught him that boys can marry other boys. He's in 2nd grade.
We tried to stop public schools from teaching children about gay marriage, but the court said we had no right to object or pull them out of class.
And we say, is it honest to lie about what you intend to do with marriage?
Fighting for gay marriage generally involves lying about what we're going to do with marriage when we get there. Because we lie that the institution of marriage is not going to change. And that is a lie. The institution of marriage is going to change, and it should change. And again, I don't think it should exist.
And then, what other consequences have we not even thought of in this debate?
Marriage equality, no consequences. Wait a minute.
Meet the world's first gay married throuple. Married lesbian threesome expecting first child. UK Green leader Natalie Bennett is open to the idea of three-way weddings. And here in Australia,
I do think that we need to address same-sex marriage before we do move forward and look at polyamorous marriage.
Marriage equality, no consequences. Wait a minute.
The Australian Marriage Forum is delighted to have helped bring Ryan Anderson out, because there is nobody who can more clearly explain to us what marriage is and what happens if its meaning is changed. We must not let that happen. We must not let this juggernaut crush what we hold dear. With your continued support for groups like ours, and above all for the ACL, and with your networking across the country, we can win this thing. Even if Australia is the last Western country standing, we will not abandon our children to a motherless or fatherless future. Thank you very much.